Hello boys and girls, and welcome to Online Sunday School. So good to have you along today. And I've got Natalie here to help me. Say hello, Natalie.
Hi boys and girls.
So Natalie's here to help me. We were originally going to bake a delicious cake, but then we thought to ourselves, the boys and girls are not going to want to stay around and watch us bake a cake. That would get kind of boring, wouldn't it? Because it takes quite a long time.
Yeah, like even whenever it's in the oven and you're so impatient waiting for it to come out, it takes a long time.
Yeah, and you can just see it there in your belly, your stomach starts to rumble, and you're like, oh, I want to eat this all. And we thought that would take too long. But instead, we thought that we would share a lesson that we can learn from baking a cake. Is that right? We've got a lesson for the boys and girls.
Yes, it's really interesting. We're not just baking a cake, we're going to teach you something special too.
So Natalie, how many cakes would you say you've baked?
Now, I think I'm nearly near 10.
Wow.
I know I was nearly near 10 the last time.
10 cakes?
Yeah.
That is amazing. And I'm a big fan of cakes, but has there been any special cakes you've made that I would like?
Oh, the last one I made you would love. It's coffee cake.
Oh, coffee cake, my two favourite things, coffee and cake combined into one. That is, sounds so good. Now, Natalie, we were talking about a Bible verse earlier, weren't we, that,
Yeah, we were. Oh, I think we should really tell the boys and girls about this Bible verse.
Yes.
It's so good.
I think we should.
Okay. Do you want me to read it?
Yes, go for it, yes.
Okay. Romans chapter 8, verse 28. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose.
Yes, that is a really great verse, and we're actually going to learn a little bit about that. But first, we have our ingredients in front of us, okay? So Natalie, since you are the expert cake baker in this house, would you like to take us through the ingredients that we need?
Okay, yes. So first of all, I have our plain flour, and then I want to mix with that some baking powder to help it rise in the oven, then some castor sugar, some butter, and some eggs, and then I have my mixing bowl to put it all in, and then the baking tray for the oven. So that's all the things I think we're going to need.
Yeah, that does. Now, I have to say, as you were saying that, in my mind I just had the taste and the smell of cake, and I was just thinking about it, and I can feel my stomach starting to rumble now, even thinking about it. But as you were going through those, Natalie, I started thinking to myself, these ingredients, they're not actually that nice ingredients when you think about it.
Yeah, and when you mix them all together, Matthew, it's not going to look very good.
No, because, if we're honest, an egg, you said an egg, we need an egg to make a cake, but an egg's not that nice, sure it's not.
No, only when you scramble it. I like scrambled eggs.
Yeah, but it's not that nice when you, and butter, I put butter on toast, but eating butter on its own would not be nice.
Oh, no, no.
And castor sugar.
No, only in my tea.
Only in the tea, and I think the dentist wouldn't be too happy about eating castor sugar on its own. And flour, I wouldn't like to eat it. And now as you were going through that, I was just thinking to myself that even though when these ingredients are put together, they make a beautiful, lovely, delicious cake.
Yeah.
But on their own, they're actually not that nice.
No, that's true. I never really thought about that, Matthew.
But it's interesting because that Bible verse talks about that God, works all things together for those who love him.
Yeah.
Okay? So God works all things together for those who love him. So that's a bit like that we put all these things together to make a beautiful cake.
Yeah.
And that teaches us, if we think about it from what that verse says, that God uses all the different circumstances in our life for good if we love him and we're called.
I love how you've used these ingredients to teach us that, Matthew.
Yeah, that's a really interesting way of looking at it. So the interesting thing, boys and girls, that we must note is that we're going through a really difficult time now, aren't we, Natalie?
Yeah.
COVID's not been good. It's been tough and it's been difficult, and some of us have been stuck in the house, and some of us haven't been able to go places that we want to go and see people we want to see. But God can use that for our good because we love him. The same way that we can use a disgusting egg and flour, which, wouldn't need that. And we can mix it all together and we can make a delicious cake. So the lesson we learn is that God can use all the bad things in our life, all the difficulty and all the struggles that we have, and he can use them and bring them together to make something beautiful and something good. Isn't that great?
That's incredible.
And Natalie, I've just been thinking, because The same way that you, okay, as the expert cake baker in this house, you can take all these not so nice ingredients and you can mix them all together. That's exactly what God does, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
For us, He takes all our bad stuff and He mixes it together, and He uses His goodness and His faithfulness and His love for us, and He can turn us into good things. All we have to do is give Him our lives and give Him the ingredients to allow Him to do that, and the ingredients is our life. Now, would you read that Bible verse just for us one more time so the boys and girls can really take in what it says?
It's Romans chapter 8, verse 28. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose.
Thank you. So, boys and girls, we can remember that we can give God all our difficulties and all our problems and all the things that we struggle with, and He will use them for our good because we love Him. And that's so important. It's not just because, God has favourites, but it's because we love Him, and because He loves us, He is able to make the bad things good. So I hope you remember that, boys and girls. I hope that next time you make a cake with your mum or dad, you can remember about all the ingredients and how God calls us and wants us to give Him the ingredients so that He can make us into something beautiful like a cake. So Natalie, just a quick question before we let the boys and girls go. When are you going to bake me my next cake?
Oh, Matthew, well, I'll think about it during the week, maybe.
Okay, well, I hope soon. Anyway, we'll say goodbye to the boys and girls. Bye!
Bye.
It's not a secret, it's not a fairy tale, it's not made up. Jonah was in a whale. 3 whole days, 1, 2, 3. The greatest treasure, the word God's people wrote. It's in the Bible, when Noah built a boat. And it rained and rained. Are you ready? The rainbows in the sky to show God's promises are true. The rainbows in the sky to show the world He's the only way for your everyday. It's not a secret,